everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Lewa Show. I'm your host, Lewa Kana, and I'm so glad that you could join me again today for another edition. We're coming to you here in beautiful Port Moresby at the APEC Haus, and I have some special guests with me here today whom I'd like to introduce. On my far right here, we've got Kathy Nakawa, who is the Senior Events Coordinator, and Moni Cross, Deputy Executive Director, and Leah Kendiga, National Planning Manager, all from the APEC Haus and the International Convention Centre, and I will let them explain to you a little bit more about these venues. I'll start with you. Welcome all for coming.
Thank you.
How are you all
Thanks
feeling?
for having us. Yes.
Good.
You all look wonderful. I love the uniforms.
Thank you.
Who can we credit for these uniforms?
One did.
One
Yeah,
did?
one did.
Yeah,
Oh,
one did.
yay!
One
did.
Shout out One
New Guinea
Did.
native.
New Guinea native. Yes, I love her work. I wear
Yeah.
some of her clothes. I love it. You all look fabulous. Fantastic. Matches the venue.
Thank you.
All right, Moni, you're on hotspot now. Tell us about these venues.
All right. So primarily, what's happened is that from the completion of APEC, we've formed a transition team, which is part of the APEC authority, but more of a scaled-down operation, so that it's part of the wind-up process and also part of the transition into National Events Secretariat, which is what we are coming in as now. So we're in that process of transitioning, and part of that transition is taking ownership and management of two facilities that we have, which is the International Convention Centre and also the APEC Haus, which is probably one of the best venues we can have in this country, and a very monumental one for us as a country, you know. So primarily that's what we are doing at the moment. So our objective is to ensure that the two venues create a revenue stream for the government, because these venues are the property of the government. So it's used to host several and various types of meetings throughout the whole year since we finished APEC. So a lot of people assume that APEC is done and dusted and nothing's happened to these venues, which is totally not true. We've hosted in total about 120 events, different types of events, from meetings to local meetings to government meetings to international meetings and so forth, and all kinds of various types of events. So it's not specifically just meetings. We've got corporate events that we've held for both venues, and it's open for business for us, because at the end of the day we're mandated to ensure that these venues operate, generate the revenue, and can be maintained for the benefit of this country and for ourselves, you know. So
You were saying earlier that the APEC Haus and the International Convention Centre are part of or are gazetted under one organisation. That's
correct.
the National
Events Secretariat.
Yes. So the National Events Secretariat.
Yeah.
And those two venues come under that one.
Correct. So people understand what National Events Secretariat do. They manage a range of events, primarily national events like the Independence Day celebrations, Remembrance Day. But a part of also the responsibility is, now that we've got these two venues, is to operate and generate revenue for these two venues, because these venues are gifted to us as a country, you know. So International Convention Centre was gifted to us by the Chinese government. So the People of the Republic of China have donated that building. They built it purposely for us to use, and also this venue as well was done by All Search. So these venues have been built purposely for us as a government to make use of. So APEC was an event that came and has now gone, but I think one of the biggest achievements for us as a country in itself is that we're probably one of the only South Pacific countries that have held or hosted an APEC event. So we should all be proud that, you know.
Such beautiful venues.
Yeah. I mean, this venue was built purposely for APEC.
APEC, yes.
The design of how this
Yes.
building came to be was designed how the proceedings would actually flow when we held APEC. So, and now we're transitioning that to make it open for use for corporate bodies, government agencies, all kinds of events.
So we can just clarify that for our viewers. Anyone can use these venues. They're not specifically for government
Correct.
organizations only.
We open up to churches, for that matter. I mean, not APEC House, but ICC. We open up to the government, the public service, so as the private sectors, the corporate bodies, the churches, even the schools as well. We have events that are coming up, like graduations, formal night for the year 12 at the secondary schools. And also we have debate, like we call it spelling bee. Yeah, so we have a lot of events. We are also opening up to the to non-government organizations like small SMEs, whoever want to. I mean, it's not only for meetings and conferences, but we do open up for weddings, for birthdays, any other events. Like when you take it out to the hotels and these other places, it's very costly. So we are giving it at a reasonable price, especially at ICC. And for APEC House, it's only to international events, corporate organizations and all that. So that's what we are doing at the moment.
That's really good clarification, Leah. I think that's very important. And would you agree, Kathy, that everyone should be here trying to use these venues? They're absolutely stunning.
Yeah, especially for APEC House, we try to do more of international events, more like high-profile corporate type. I think this year we had a couple of high-profile meetings and also corporate meetings with private functions and all that on site. Yeah.
So they can be used for literally anything.
Yeah.
But there's a difference.
Of course. Yes.
There's a difference. So
Yes.
International Convention Center becomes a venue that can be basically open to anybody in any organization, basically. But APEC House is more a upmarket type venue, which accommodates that kind of specific type of event. So there's a difference. So, but look, at the end of the day, we're open to inquiries. And the main point of contact that we have is myself, but Leah, who manages all of our bookings. So and she's the national manager for all the coordination of all the events. So all our scheduling of what's free and what's available. And is the point of contact for International Convention Center, and Kathy here for APEC House. So she's the face of APEC House. When everybody comes in, they see Kathy here, and she takes them through the venue. So, so we're not restrictive, but there is of course a difference in terms of the type of events that can be hosted for each of the venues.
Host here. Well, we'll get into the more specific details of each venue. We'll take a short break and maybe top up your cups here. Thank you everyone for joining us for this segment of the Lewa Show. We have more coming to you very shortly. Don't go away. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Lewa Show. I'm coming to you from the beautiful APEC House in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. And we were just talking about the venues in association with the National Events Secretariat. So we now know that these venues can be used by anyone that wants to use them within reason, right? Because they are, would you say they're national heritage site?
Yes, they are. Yeah. They represent a lot to this country.
Yeah.
I mean, we hosted APEC in these two venues.
ACP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Asia, Caribbean, Pacific.
So it does have that prestige attached to it.
Mm.
So Kathy, the APEC House, as Moni was saying, face of the APEC House. Now everyone's going to be nice to you if they want to have their events here. Now, what is your role and your responsibility with the APEC House?
My role here at APEC House, like you've introduced and Mr. Kosa said, I'm the senior events coordinator here. I usually do manage events that are on site here. What I do most is making sure that the events that are held here at APEC House are delivered on time and making sure that the requirements are met by us and also what is required by our clients that are coming on site. So usually what I do is when our clients have, when they have booked APEC House for an event, They usually see Mrs. Kaniga and Mr. Cross for the booking. Once they've scheduled a date for them, they send them down to APEC House for a walkthrough. We try to come up with some things that their event, the particular type of event, how they want it to be. Maybe it can be a cocktail or function or meeting or something, conference or something like that. So we have different type of rooms in APEC House. What I do is we tend to choose the rooms and then
suit the client?
yes, to suit the clients, and then the type of meeting that they or the event that they have. Then from there, I get to talk to them with their service providers. Because usually what we do is we provide for the venue only, but some other things like for catering and AV and some other service providers and stuff like that, they have to outsource it.
Right.
So I deal with them on that and also deal with the service providers and stuff like that.
So I guess basically once the booking's been confirmed, you've approved it, then they would then come to you for the coordination of the venue.
Yes.
So this brings me back to a question, maybe Leah can help me. What are some of the things that maybe you would restrict? What's not allowed for in the use of the APEC House?
Well, of course, the venue, I mean, look, like any other venue within the city or the country, I mean, we do restrict vilna chewing. I mean, that, of course, is a no-go zone thing here. You know, I mean, we make sure that we police it properly, because the last thing you want is these venues to be spoiled by why.
It is unfortunate, isn't
yeah,
it?
look,
Because,
it's part of everybody's thing, but for APEC House, we police that really well. What we also like to encourage is to ensure that when people do host their functions here, they behave in a manner that is acceptable. And responsible drinking too as well is one of the things. So, so at the end of the day, look, the event owners will come, they'll see the space, we give them the guidelines of what they need to work within, and they just follow it, and we are here to make sure that happens. At the end of the day, you know, people have to have the experience of coming to APEC House, enjoying the event, enjoying the experience, seeing, you know, what happens here at the night. You know, we've had fireworks happen here as well.
That
so
would have been
there's
spectacular.
a lot of things to appreciate when you come here, and the night view is spectacular too as well. You know,
I've seen some of the drone shots that were taken here. Yeah. Can't get that anywhere else in the world.
And people that do book the venues, ask to bring their drones. For sure, go for it. It's not restricted. So we work with all the event owners to ensure that at the end of the day, they deliver their events to how they expect it to be delivered. So, and we work closely together with all of them. So with Kathy working with them, collaborate to make sure at the end of the day, their event is successful. This venue is accommodating to all types of events.
So Leah, what are the hopes and plans for APEC House, do you think?
The hopes and plans for APEC House is we are looking forward to host very big events like what we had during APEC. So like a APEC meeting for that matter. We have all the facilities here, so we are looking forward to host. We've hosted the Australian Papua New Guinea Ministerial Forum, and now we are going to host the Melanesian Spear Group. So that's comprising of, I think, 6 Melanesian Pacific countries that are coming here with their leaders, their presidents, their prime ministers, and their foreign leaders. So we have a lot of important meetings, especially international meetings that are happening here. And we are looking forward to host more than that. Maybe in 2020, I think we are going to have the International Business Council that was just been earmarked for this APEC House. So we are looking forward for that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I hope all our viewers watching today can inquire about these venues, the APEC House and the International Convention Centre here in Port Moresby. If you are looking to host a venue very soon and you're looking for where to host it, just look at the view. I don't know if our cameras can. Yeah, there you go. There you go. This is real. It's not a backdrop. You are watching the Lewa Show. We will be right back. back to the Lewa Show. We were just talking about the APEC House and the International Convention Center. And Leah, National Planning Manager, that's a big role. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
A lot of pressure on your shoulders there.
Exactly.
No,
not
You're
really.
comfortable? I love it. I love your confidence.
Yeah.
So tell us, what do you actually do in this position?
Okay, what I actually do with this position is, as you know, it's events planning manager. I really don't plan all the events, but what I normally do is we normally receive bookings or requests from, as we have mentioned earlier on, it's from private sectors, public sectors, NGOs, churches, you know, from all walks of life, if I can sum it up. What I normally do is we normally receive all the, some requests would come through Mr. Money Cross, and some would come directly to me, and some would be through Kathy, and we have another officer called Ruth Pedersen. Sometimes we normally get requests from, that comes through her, and then all the requests are then given to me, and I kind of, and what I do is I go through when they do their request, they will give us their specific dates of their meetings, and then I then go and look at the calendar and try to insert their meetings into the calendar. And then we also consider, we ask them about their specifications. Like when someone says they want to host a meeting, we would ask, what kind of meeting do you want to host? And they would say they want to host a conference or a meeting or a workshop or a seminar or a forum, you know, all kinds of meetings. Or someone would say we want to do a fundraising, or we want to do events, corporate dinner, or graduation, or a graduation or a formal night or something like. And then we would ask them for the capacity, the number of people, or the number of folks.
Ask you, what is the capacity for both? So capacity in APEC House and international.
Okay, for APEC House and ICC, there is we have specific rooms which can cater for, which have the capacity of the number of people in each rooms. Like we have APEC room which would cater up to 300, right?
Yeah, about 300.
Yeah.
So the largest of each would be roughly
300. 300. When you say 300, you're looking at a classroom kind of setup.
Yeah, conference
setup, like you have the panel in the front, and then you have everybody seated at the back and facing the panel in the front, and you know, presentations and speeches, whatever is taking place in the front. With that, you're looking at about 300 people, right, Kathy?
People, yes.
300?
Yeah, roughly 300. Let's say 250 to 300. Yeah.
Is that the largest room here?
Yeah, that's one of the largest room on the ground floor.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on the type of meetings.
Yeah.
Now, for dinners, we do up to about 450 is probably the capacity for a formal sit-down dinner. For the meetings, depending on the types of rooms, it can range from 350 up to maybe 400 or 500. Really, it just depends on how the space or how the meetings actually run.
Because I was here not so long ago for the Hiri Moale, and that was beautiful. That was out here, and they would have easily had more than.
They had roughly around 300 people.
Yeah, and it wasn't in a room. Like I liked that it was very open. And yes.
So each venue has its own capacity. I mean, ICC has a large auditorium that seats 750 people. We have an atrium hall that sits up to 800 people. So it's really, it's the inquiries that come in, and part of Leah's role is to establish those elements of what people are booking for and the types of events. So, and then from there she'll schedule them into the calendar, and we'll have that discussion about which venue should these events go.
Yes.
Because some of them will just inquire on ICC, and we'll say, okay, well, it could be best suited at APEC Haus. Then we'll make that suggestion back to them.
It's really good.
So, there's a lot of flexibility, and that's what Leah does. She will review all of those elements of that booking, see where it fits in the calendar, schedule it, and then the process of walking through the venues where Leah is the point of contact for ICC, Kathy is the point of contact for APEC Haus. So, people planning events will go through that process and then determine what actually do they want, and they agree on the venue. And I mean, that's what primarily what Leah's
Yes,
role
yes.
is. You know, if you summarize it,
Yes.
it's putting it into to the right venue so that it accommodates their requirements.
Like normally we don't tell them like we don't directly tell them that we have this room available that you can use and all that. It's basically at their call. You know, they come in with their specifications. So we try to provide a venue that suits their specifications and their requirements. So like what I normally do is if they want to like ICC, I mean APEC House for that matter, I would send them down to Kathy. I'll get Kathy, telegram Kathy or send a message to Kathy, tell her that this team is coming down, get them through a walkthrough and this is what they want. So Kathy would do that. Down at ICC, I would do that.
Right.
So when they come, they would say like, we have a meeting or a workshop for 70 people. When they say 70, I would know exactly what room that would suit them. So I would ask them, do you want a meeting to be on a round table or you want it on a boardroom type? And they would tell me yes. It's an important meeting. So we have the rooms available, so we would take them. I mean, a walkthrough is like we take them into the rooms and we tell them, this is the room that we have available and that can suit the capacity that you are looking at.
Yeah.
And then they tell us, you know, that at ICC we have rooms that does not have AV, the sound system. So we tell them, that like this room doesn't have any facility for sound system. So this is where they can source outside. And with our other rooms, like we have sound system and all that they can use. At the atrium, as Mr. Cross has mentioned, it's a very big space. So with that, it can cater up to 800 when you have a free sitting arrangement. So like we do have dinner fundraising.
Yeah, we have dining hall there. We've got, you know,
This is at International Convention.
Yes,
Correct.
the dining hall caters up to 450 people. The atrium would be about 500.
5 to 800.
5 to
depending on the
800, yeah.
type. But you know, like any event owner or event organizer, a lot of them really don't know what they actually want until they get into the venue.
Yes.
Then they walk through that venue, and this is where these two ladies step in to guide them through that whole process, so that they make the selection of what they actually want and how their event would actually work. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, most of them have come in unsure what they want. By the time they finish with these two ladies, they already know what they want.
Yeah.
And which space they want to use and so forth. So that's, I mean, that's what we do to all of our clients that come into the venue, and we help guide them through that whole process.
Just really quickly, Kathy, you found that with the APEC House. I know this venue's been used quite a bit. People coming in, are they convinced as soon as they walk through?
Oh
to
yeah,
book?
they really love the venue itself because of the view, of ocean view and stuff like that. Most of the people here, like Mrs. Kenniga and you've mentioned, that they do not really know if the venue is on hire or something like that. What they do is usually they do inquire with Mrs. Kenniga and stuff and Mr. Cross, and that's when they come into the venue, they know that the venue is on hire and they can use the venue for this particular type of meetings and events and stuff like that.
You're watching The Lewa Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Lewa Show. We're coming to you from the beautiful APEC House in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, and I've had the privilege of meeting and talking to the management team here. So before we go, thank you so much for your time, each of you. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I just thought I'd give you this time now to share your final words and maybe give information to our viewers on where they can find you if they need more information. Do you want to start, Kathy?
Yeah, sure. For more information about APEC House, you can inquire here at ICC International Convention, where our main office is, or you can either contact me or my email address for your events if you want it to be here at APEC House.
Okay, well, in summary, I think, first of all, thank you. Thank you to the team that have given us the opportunity to, showcase our venue and be a part of that. I think the key thing is we've got two iconic venues in this country that we should be proud of, and it's also part of history. APEC is part of our history as a host nation, and these venues are open for bookings in reference to hosting any types of events. So please inquire with us. Like Kathy mentioned, our main office is at the International Convention Center, and our emails will be seen here shortly, I think. So feel free to contact us, and we can accommodate all types of events. So we encourage you all to get in touch with us and just inquire so that we can help you stage your next event. And I think one of the key things here in this venue at APEC Haus is that you get to see the actual main room where the leaders hosted their summit, and we've kept that reserved so that when people do host their events here, they can go into that room, take their photos in there, and see because we've left the room as it is.
Right.
We'll close it also that it's something that people can take away with them to say that they've been here, they've seen where our Prime Minister was sitting, and they can also see where the other economic leaders were sitting as well, because all the 21 countries that represent APEC, the nameplates are still seated here. So we had prime ministers, and presidents of their nations come here, so they can actually get a glimpse of that, take a photo of it, take a selfie of it, and use it to, for our benefit. But at the end of the day, we're here managing these historical venues, and we want to continue to make sure these venues are used, generate revenue for this government, and continue to host all types of meetings, both international, national events, and so forth. So I encourage you all to get in touch with us.
Thank you, Moni. Leah, final words?
Thank you. If you can't reach us on the emails, we do accept walk-in reservations or walk-in bookings. So you can just come in person and do your request or your reservations to us. The office is open from 7:45 to 5 o'clock. That's our Monday to Friday. And that's where we accept all bookings and requests and inquiries there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Well, there you have it, viewers. Look at this view. If I could just get our team here to show this. This is spectacular. This is the APEC House in Port Moresby, iconic not only to our country as a heritage building, but also in the Pacific region. You will not be able to find venues like this, and I think it's important that our viewers know that this is available for you to host venues at. So do please reach out to these lovely people. You're friendly, you're not scary. Correct. They're not gonna chase you away when you inquire on the venue, so please do reach out. All their email addresses are right here if you need to contact them, and you can also find out more online. Just do search APEC House and also International Convention Center. There you have it, guys. This has been another edition of the Lewa Show. Once again, thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you.
And do follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube to catch this episode and other episodes of the Lewa Show. You don't want to miss out. I've been your host, Lewa Kana. It's good to have you, and we will see you again next time.